Today, I am grooming a very special German Shepherd named Gaston. He is 12 years old, and he suffers from a disease known as degenerative myopathy. Stay tuned to see his first ever professional grooming results and learn how you can prevent your dog from developing this disease. Okay, Gaston, let's get you started. It is believed that Gaston has never been groomed before, so we're unsure how he's going to behave. And he smells really bad. I'm going to assume that's because he likely urinates on himself because of his balancing issues, his mobility issues. I'm gonna heat up the water first. Hopefully he lets me groom him. Good boy, you really stinky. You need a good grooming. Good boy. It's okay. Now, when this dog was booked, I thought that he had no mobility, so I was prepared to groom him on the ground with a blanket and just let him lay there. But he has quite a bit of mobility and he is extremely strong. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get him on the table with the belly band and he'll stay, but something tells me he's going to try to get away because he's not used to this, obviously. Gaston is a rescue dog. He came here from Mexico. He is in hospice care because his disease is fatal. He will eventually have to be put down because he won't be able to walk or use the bathroom on his own without having a human express his bowels and bladder for him. So he cannot be adopted out because he will unfortunately not be around much longer. But I mean, he is 12 and that is very old for a shepherd. So, you know, good for him for making it this long. So degenerative myopathy is a progressive disease, as I just mentioned. It will get worse to the point where he will lose all mobility. It eventually works its way all the way up the spine to the point where the dog can no longer swallow, has trouble breathing, and cannot move its front legs. This disease is caused by genetics, so he did receive this disease from his parents, and this disease can be prevented. So that's the sad part about this disease. And this is the reason why I talk so much about ethical breeding and health testing. If you go to your breeder and they say, oh yeah, the vet checked the puppies, they're all healthy. That's not health testing, that's a health clearance. It's not the same thing. Health testing happens before the puppies are even born, and they health test the parents for genetic diseases like degenerative myopathy. So if they test the parents and both parents carry the gene, they can carry one copy of the gene. That does not mean that they will get degenerative myopathy. That just means that they are a carrier of it. If you breed those two dogs together, then those puppies will have two copies of the gene and they have a very high chance of developing the disease. Doesn't mean that they will, but their chances are much greater. So that's the reason why it's so important to find a breeder that does health testing, because something like this can be prevented. So his parents each had a copy, or his parents could have each both had two copies, which is even worse. And that's why he got this disease. That's another reason why, you know, I'm pro purchasing puppies from ethical breeders. I'm also pro adoption, but when you adopt, there's always a situation like this that can happen because you don't know the history of that dog. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't adopt. It just means that you shouldn't judge people who choose not to, because if someone is unwilling to put themselves in a position where they know, like, if something like this were to happen, they couldn't deal with it, that they shouldn't be judged for their decision. So, it's very common in German Shepherds. It's common in Boxers. I can't remember the other breed. I think there's one more breed this disease is common in. And that's why it's so important for people to health test their sire and dam before breeding. And this is just one of many genetic diseases and disorders that could be caught and prevented if people just health tested. So the only good news about this disease is that it is completely painless. So he doesn't experience any pain. He just experiences weakness and numbness in his back end. The owner says that he has never had a groom before, so hopefully he tolerates this pretty well. Good boy. It's going to be very hard to rinse you because of your back end. He really needs this groom because he smells really bad and he's covered in urine. So for his benefit, he needs to be cleaned. You're a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. It is believed, well, not believed, they know for sure that he was a junkyard dog on someone's property, and he barked and barked and barked and barked every time he saw somebody, I guess. So protecting the property. Good boy. Good boy, you can lay down. Lay down. Degenerative myopathy, usually symptoms start to appear around 7 years old or later. So he probably lived the majority of his life completely fine. And then all of a sudden he got the onset of the disease, the symptoms, after 7 years old. Because he's 12 and he's still around and he's not completely immobilized, I'm gonna say that it probably came on a lot later in life, maybe around 10 or 11 years old, or even later. So he got pretty lucky that the disease didn't hit him when he was a lot younger. No, stay. Come here, buddy. Come here. You can see on his back legs where he has these little black marks. It's from him dragging his paws. Poor guy. But they're not sores, they're just black marks, probably where he's just lost a lot of hair. Okay, I'm gonna get him onto the table and then we're gonna start his blow dry. Now he's really low on the grooming table. I've attached him to the groomer's helper not because he's going to spin, but because he tries to dive off the table, so hopefully that will help prevent that. I'm using the belly band today, but again, I'm not using it to keep him standing. I'm using it just to give him some type of support so that his back end doesn't fly off the table. I am going to lower it a little bit because it's a little bit too high right now. If he likes to lay down, that would be ideal. We're gonna do the best that we can. He's never been blow dried before. I don't know how he's gonna react. He is shedding terribly though. So we are going to put on our eye protection and ear protection, and then we're gonna start. I'm gonna be okay with this. If not, I shall take it off, but let's try first. It's okay, buddy. I've taken the belly band off because it's applying too much pressure for too long, which is going to be uncomfortable for him. You have to lay back down. Nope, you have to lay back down. This bar is too low for you to be sitting. Please lay back down. This is the problem with when they want to lay down and you lower the bar, because then when they want to stand up, the bar is too low. So that's where it gets complicated. No. Come here. I don't think he can hear. I think he's deaf. Okay, buddy. We're gonna brush you. You are indeed still shedding. He's still a little bit damp in some spots. Obviously, he cannot stand for very long. I'm not gonna force him to stand just to get him dry. Forget it. So he is as dry as he's going to be, and I am going to brush him out as best I can. I think that he lost the majority of his shedding coat with the dryer. You guys can obviously tell the chunks that were flying off of him. He looks in really good shape now. Well, your back nails are completely filed. I'm going to assume that's from falling everywhere, right? How much your ear is shedding. Okay, I'm gonna try to move you. Poor guy. Good boy. I think this is about as good as it's gonna get for you today, mister. His nails are all pretty short because of the way he walks, except for a few front ones. But I'd like him to lay down because I don't want to lift his paws and make him uncomfortable. If he laid down, I could shave them and clip his nails, but if he doesn't lay down... Okay, what if you lay down like that? Oh. Come on, lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Come on, lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Okay, stay there. See your nails? Let me see. Let me see. Good boy. I am going to use spring rain. It's very strong, and although I gave him 2 baths, his back end and his groin here still kind of stinks. Even though I washed it twice, it's just gets saturated probably in urine and feces because he can't stand properly. So yeah, he smells 90% better, but it still stinks a little bit, especially when I hit it with the dryer.
Gaston did incredible for his first groom today, especially considering his disease. He is still a very strong dog, and he is living life to the fullest in his hospice foster home. For more information on degenerative myelopathy, please do your own research or speak with a veterinarian. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again in a few days.